Well, Trinidad Tobago, what can we say? What can we say? You have some hope. They completely let you down sometimes with a dismal display, and then when you just about give up, they show you a ray of sunlight through the clouds. Well, we had a horrible two games against USA and Haiti. Saudi Arabia, a competitive 1-0 loss to USA, and a victory over Haiti 1-0. Nobody gave us a chance really against the Saudis, and you couldn't blame them. We looked bad against USA. We were very lucky to draw 1-0 with a 10-man Haitian team that basically outplayed us for most of the match. And there we were. There we were, holding on with Saudi Arabia and almost winning the game. It was good give and take. There were positives, there were negatives, but Twaito made a few changes, and to his credit, it was a much better display. You could see the commentators on Fox Sports were quite surprised and pleasantly so. Justin Garcia continues to play well for his country, defends well, goes up front and gets stuff done. Dante Sealy, after 5 minutes, I was telling myself, this boy, he plays well, he's got good skills, but he gives away the ball sometimes. Well, in the 16th minute, Dante gets the ball. Nope, sorry. 11th minute. I want to play young boy, not wearing my glasses. 11th minute, Dante gets the ball, goes up on the right, just outside the box. I say, well, Dante, let's see what you can do. And we get a left-footed shot, which so far has been the goal of the tournament. Magnificent shot, curving away from the keeper, going to the far left, away from the keeper, over the defenders. Goal. Nobody could touch it. Nobody could do anything. It was just wonderful. A goal of the highest class. So it does great wonders for his career because clubs are watching this. They're watching this. I should add that Dante ran back and helped out in defense many times and did a good job. Again, clubs are watching this. Very good game, Dante Sealy. Well done. Looking forward to a lot more football from you for Trinidad and Tobago. And not too long after Dante's goal in the 11th minute, 16th minute, nice give and go between Gill and Garcia. Garcia takes a good right-footed effort. The Saudi keeper, who had a good night, got a hand to it because I was looking like it could be a goal. And then from the 30th minute onwards, Saudi Arabia started to exert their influence on the game. And we were less, you know, less proactive. We weren't as effective as we once were. Um, Again, Sealy was falling back and helping out in defense. Justin Garcia was doing a good job. And although Saudi Arabia came back strong in the last 15 minutes of the first half, it is very important to note and a credit to the TNT defense that Saudi Arabia got no shots on goal. They had 4 shots, none on goal. We had 4 shots, 2 on goal, and we scored one. And we were leading 1-0, and I thought, well, this is not bad. If we could do that and have them not have any shots on goal for 45 minutes, let's keep that up for the second 45 minutes. Well, we are Trinidad, right? We are Trinidad. And so what happened is in the second half, we played complacently. We were not being very proactive and aggressive, not making runs up the flanks, not playing the way we played in the first half. Very passive. Sometimes we were holding the ball too long and giving it away. Passing the ball and giving it away. And it did not look good. And sure enough, Saudi Arabia scored in the 60th minute. It wasn't really surprising. The ball beat Marvin Phillip. A bullet hit the post, scored on the rebound. Um, so be it. And in the 72nd minute, Saudi Arabia hit the bar. Okay, and they almost scored seconds after scoring the first goal. But anyway, the 72nd minute, they hit the bar. And we won. But the only good thing was from the moment we scored that, we conceded the goal. Although they almost scored a few seconds later, Trinidad Tobago started to play more aggressively, started to play more proactively, and both teams were getting chances. But at least we were reaching the final third and final quarter. We were giving them problems. And as I said, Saudi Arabia hit the bar in the 72nd minute, but we continued to persevere. After Saudi Arabia hit the bar in the 72nd minute, seconds later, Justin Garcia had to clear a ball off the line. But Dwight York made his substitutions and good subs. He made 4 subs in all, and Nathaniel James and Jovan Jones were again creating opportunities up front like one expects them to. And we had our moments. Um, Again, good give and take by both teams. Saudi Arabia could have scored easily. We could have scored once or twice, but it was in injury time. 7 minutes of injury time. And Trinidad and Tobago, other than an offside goal, Saudi Arabia had 2 offside goals, one in regular time, which was marginal but was offside, and one in the 97th minute, which was, one in the 94th minute, which was definitely offside. But other than that offside goal, for the 7 minutes of injury time, TNT dominated. Um, Garcia got a through ball, beat the keeper, and it looked like it was going in. It looked like it was going in, and it hit the crossbar. Justin Boy, that crossbar misbehaved. It misbehaved. And Jovena, in injury time, before Garcia, almost scored as well. He was on the left, got a ball from the right, took a shot from a acute angle. It hit the keeper's hand, could have gone anyway, but it did not go in the goal. And what we showed after conceding the goal is that we could be effective. I don't know why we had to concede a goal to be effective up front. Again, both teams had their chances. Both teams probably think they could have scored 2 more goals in that match. Both teams probably think they could have won that match, and they would have been quite right. We must. Somebody said to me, but it's a good thing we didn't win. You know why? We would have gone to the next round and had false impressions of how good we are. That is partially true. On a more realistic level, first of all, let us give Dwight Yorke and all his players credit for a much improved performance. And let us give Dwight Yorke credit again in that he continues to make substitutions that have an effect on the game. I was very surprised that Tyrese Spicer didn't play at all. I can't understand how a man who contributes so much didn't play. I think they didn't want to put Real Gil in the middle because there might have been a bit of a hole, so they put him on the left. But no Tyrese Spicer for the whole game. The way he plays, I don't know what to say about that. But again, we had bad moments. We need to work on that. I don't know why we play complacently when it's obvious what happens when we do. But we showed we're capable. We showed we're capable. You need to understand something. Trinidad Tobago is not a great team. But like Suriname, like Haiti, like Curacao, we have a midfield that is, believe it or not, that is a lot more capable. We are not seeing them. And they link up with the likes of Spicer, what's his name, Levi Garcia and Dante Sealy, we could create a lot more opportunities. We could defend strong, just like the other teams do. Wait for opportunities, counter. And guys who could show us a moment of brilliance like Dante Sealy did today. So who are these guys? Well, first of all, you've got Aubrey, who plays in Jamaica. No, he's not on the team. He's off form right now. But when he gets back into form, he's a talented player, ex-France under 17, ex-USA under 20. He's got pedigree. But he needs to build up. He needs to pump up. He's too small, and this is holding him back in his career. What I'm about to say, I said 2.5 years ago, and it's the same damn problem. John Paul Rushford, I believe, is the most talented player in Trinidad. John Paul Rushford should have had a contract years ago. He is a crime he's still in Trinidad, but John Paul Rushford continues, to be very small, and I guess presently it's off form. I know he's not on the side, but if he regains his form, nobody in Trinidad could touch John Paul Rushford. He could beat, he can distribute. His distribution is impeccable. His ability to shoot from the outside is impeccable. He's what you call a wonderful midfielder, and he can just create magic. What Dante Sealy did today is wonderful, but that's a day in the office for John Paul Rushford when he's in form. Real Gil, a good solid player, very skillful. I actually expected Real to do even better today. What has held back Real in his international careers against better teams? He's too small. Today he had some moments. He had a wonderful moment in the 16th minute when he did that 1-2 with Levi Garcia. He had other good moments. But really, I thought he would do better. I really did think he would do better. And I don't know if the left is for him, but I mean, he's a half a step behind John Paul Rushford in terms of how he shoots so beautifully and how he is impeccable with his placement and his distribution as a midfielder should be. We got Muckett, a very good player who's playing in the Middle East. He was, I think, unfortunate not to make this team. So what I'm saying is John Paul Rushford, if he regains his form, wonderful player, but he's got to put on size. Aubrey, if he regains his form, good player, he's got to put on size. Gil is presently playing in the USA. He's on the national team. He's got to put on size. And Muckett is in the Middle East. The good thing about Gil and Muckett is that they're abroad. They should have a good nutrition program and gym program. Aubrey is in Jamaica. I assume they're treating him well. I really don't know. And I don't know what's happening with John Paul and Trinidad. I don't know. Maybe I should not assume these fellas are not going to the gym. But I don't understand why 2.5 years later they look the way they do. All of them, they should have put on about 20 to 25 pounds, and it is affecting their international career. Sometimes small men make the exception to the rule. Clint Marcel, Russell Latapi, but this is holding these fellas back. And let me tell you something. If John Paul... Okay, first let me continue. Rion Moore and Nathaniel James, two very good players who I believe are better for Trinidad and Tobago coming off the bench. Some players are just better. They come off, they're fresh, they're fast, they can run aggressively, shoot from any angle, and this is great. We can't always get a Conal Glenn. We don't have no Dwight Yorke or Stern John or Ron Lafori. But what we do have is Rion Moore and Nathaniel James, and I believe they're better coming off the bench. Sometimes we start them because we just don't have any better. We just can't do any better. And they do the best that they can. Yes, I know Rion is not on the side. Rion, again, like John Paul Rochford, is off form. And this is probably why they sent him back home from Canada. But if he can regain his form, ladies and gentlemen, imagine maybe, all right, Phillips and Real Gil, Phillips and John Paul Rochford in the middle. Spicer on the left, Dante on the right, Levi Garcia up front, and waiting to come off that bench and rearing to go are Rayon Moore and Nathaniel James, and maybe all three. The negative is we have 2 months. I don't expect the small men to pump up. The positive is, other than Jamaica, it's Curacao and Bermuda. They're not that big. I've taken a guess. Sorry, I have not seen Bermuda play, but I'm making an assumption. And I know Curacao fellas not that big. They're like the Haitians. They're not that small, but they're not massive like the Jamaicans and the Canadians. And I think we could get away with this with the likes of Real Gil and John Paul. You saw Real play today against Saudi Arabia. He didn't do that badly. I should tell you that Saudi Arabia were missing 9 players because they played for Al Hilal in the World Club Championships, but they still did well in this tournament. Most of their players come from the Saudi League, which don't cry them down. They have a lot of good foreigners playing in those Middle Eastern leagues. They do, however, have 3 guys who play abroad. Two plays in the Belgian First Division. Sahafi plays in the Belgian Second Division, and Al Saad plays in the French Second Division. Those are the 3 men who play outside of Saudi Arabia. Only Al Sahafi came for the match. He's the guy from the Belgian Second Division. So, Saudi Arabia was a good side, and we have shown that we have potential. And if we have 2 months to kind of right this ship, Rion Moore get back his form, John Paul Rochford get back his form. I believe July, maybe those fellas are free, do a solid gym program, try to bulk up. And I've said this before, I'll say it again, the TTAFA needs to target 5 or 6 elite players who believe, like a John Paul Rochford and others, who could go abroad and do something special, really special. And if they're not getting the proper gym or nutrition, work with the clubs and sponsor them together, and see that they can do better. You're getting millions from FIFA, you're getting millions from the TNT government. Find some money and do it. It's not your job to do it. It's not your responsibility. But we are not England or Italy. We have to make that extra step. We have to show that extra bit ingenuity. So what we showed today is that we're still in with our chance at the World Cup qualifiers. If this team that plays like this today plays against Curacao or Bermuda, we have a good chance. And against Jamaica, we have a shot. It wasn't good enough, but it was much better. It was an improvement. And it shows what we're capable of. I do not know why they got complacent in the second half and why they had to wait to concede a goal to start showing some initiative. We must be realistic and understand that Saudi Arabia got a lot of chances at goal. I think they hit the bar twice. One of the offside goals was very close. We were a bit lucky, and Saudi Arabia was missing 9 players. So, but it was a step forward, and we have to congratulate the coach on that. We have to congratulate the players. I mean, Saudi Arabia had no shots on goal in the first half. I think sometimes we make teams look better than they are. Not that they're that bad, but we make them look better. I think we made Haiti look better than they are. So it is something to look forward to. Dwight York has 2 months. August might be preseason training for some of the clubs, and they might even start their season in August. But hopefully we could get some games in July. Dwight has had, I think, maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks with the team. They've had a chance to gel, had a chance to play. Aubrey David was not there. Very surprising. He's playing for the number 1 club in, I believe it's Costa Rica. And, if this is the case, I'm incorrect. It is the number 1 club, but it's the number 1 club in Guatemala. And I don't see why he's not in the side. All I can think is he was being rested, so Dwight could have a chance to see other players. Aubrey David, Justin Garcia together. That wouldn't be bad, By the way, Alvin Jones, he played his centre-back position a lot better. He played it a lot better, didn't he? I like to see Alvin on the right. I think he's a good right back. I think sometimes when he goes forward, the person in front of him has to be able to track back of Alvin because, there's a little gap there. But Alvin has a wonderful shot from distance, a good free kick. We didn't get to see it today. So who knows? Maybe this is a position centre back that he can grow into. That's up to him and Dwight York. Dwight obviously had some confidence in him, and Alvin did a much better job. He did. Overall, the team bid. Let's talk. Raymond, good job on the left. Sometimes some rash tackles. Justin Garcia has played wonderfully for Trinidad. He's 29, going on 30 this year. He may be able to get a contract abroad. Alvin had a good game. Rio Cardenas, how could forget the boy? He had a solid game. Dante Sealy had a great game. you know. Magnificent goal. And what really pleased me about Dante was watching him track back and defend like our boss. Well done, Dante. Phillips continued to play well. Real Gil did okay. I thought he was capable of even better. I have a lot of respect for Real as a player and as a midfielder with skill. Um, so he did well. I thought he could do better. And Levi is Levi. Only know Levi is Levi, right? Thank God for Levi. That's what I have to say. So great for Dwight York, great for the team. They surprised everybody. I was hoping they could surprise us. I don't like to fantasize too much. This is some real OBA football now. We catch deal with Grenada. We struggle a bit with St. Kitts, and we go to Costa Rica and do impressively. Do you know what we did against USA and Haiti? Then bam, we handled Saudi Arabia. Well, played well against Saudi Arabia, uh, who gave trouble to America, who beat Haiti. And if this team had played like this against Haiti, maybe we could have gotten into the next round. I don't know. I mean, how do you struggle with a 10-man Haiti but play so well against Saudi Arabia? But we must not get carried away. We Saudi Arabia got a lot of chances on goal in the second half. They hit the bar twice. They had two offside goals. The first one was offside, but we just get away. So we have work to do. We have work to do, but Alvin did well in the centre back position. Justin has continues to do well. Cardenas is a good, solid player. I love the way Dante tracks back. We have something to look at, and maybe Zoom Garcia can make the side in the next couple of months if they give him some games and some practice. TTFA, hopefully you can give us some exhibition games in the month of July. It would be nice. So great job, Dwight. Great job to the Soca Warriors. We show that maybe we do have a chance. We do have a chance to qualify for the World Cup, get a playoff spot. Trinidad and Tobago is our OBS side. One day we bad, one day we good. We might shock Jamaica the way we shocked Saudi Arabia today. I do not know. What I do know is we have to support Dwight York, and people understand something. Dwight York is doing what he can with what he has. All right, I say this with respect. This is maybe the weakest team we've had in 40 years. Um, if Levi Garcia and this fella Spicer ever get injured on the same day, the options to replace them are not overwhelming. All right, this is not the olden days. Even the 06 squad, which I thought was weaker than the squads of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, we had a number of guys that gave us depth. One or two of them didn't go to the World Cup because of injury, But this is not the best team we've ever had, and players who should have developed have not developed for a variety of reasons. Um, I'm a little surprised that Garcia was not taken, and that maybe blood and bring him on in the second half. But so was Dwight. Zoom Garcia. So Darrell is his first thing. I think Dwight knows what he's doing. Who am I to question him? So improved performance by the Soca Warriors. We recognize it. We recognize Dwight York. All the best in preparation for September. God bless the Soca Warriors. God bless Dwight York. God bless me.